I'm gonna say
Manga.
that's actually a good one. This year actually is not actually last year would have been the year, but for some reason it's this year that is the 30th anniversary of the release of Ninja Scroll.
I want to say I know why, because I think it hit the U.S. market in 1994,
Okay, because it
and
came out in 1993 as is written on Rotten Tomatoes.
because it released in Japan in 1993.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing it again, in my knowledge, in all AMC theaters. I'm not sure Regal or Cinemark, I'm not sure. But I know in AMC theaters, not all of them, but some selected, they were showing it.
Correct. It
They
was
were
like
showing it
sponsored
just
by
for
like High Dive, the anime service.
right. And Mad Dog, I think.
Well,
For people that, or Madhouse, excuse me. Yes,
Madhouse is the original founding production company, wasn't it? Oh no, it's the production company now.
Right.
When it used to be a different
Right.
company.
Only 2 days of showing for the anniversary to see it in theaters. That is.
Pretty much.
I saw it yesterday. I think you saw it yesterday at the time of this recording.
We saw it actually at the same time.
That's right. It was at 7:30. Even though we're at different theaters, they were showing at that same time. How was your theater? Well, before we get into that, on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie, 30 years old, is rated at 89% by the critics as well as by the audience. And this also led to a show and I believe a sequel.
That doesn't count in my eyes.
Ninja Scroll 2.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel.
I'm Adan.
Where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert! Okay, that was racist. Ninja Scroll is one of the first animes I've seen. And it was presented by Manga, as you said earlier. Fist of the North Star, Akira, Robot Carnival. Those were the first few animes I saw. And I remember I was in college. I was a sophomore when I found these gems. Granted, I was familiar with anime with Voltron, Battle of the Planets, Speed Racer, but those were different because those were more of shows where these were like features.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? Was it because of me too?
Yeah.
Because of the comic books.
No. So like any manga comics I got were like from you and some stores and stuff. But the anime,
well, I never got the comics.
No, you got later. You had like Akira and stuff like that, didn't you?
The comic book?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, because after I saw the movie, I bought the comic. I think it was in color too. It was a little different than the movie.
The movies and all of that came from you, because you would rent them and or you would acquire them, and then I would watch the ones you acquired or that you were watching. Like one of my earliest memories was Fist of the North Star, the original OVA.
Oh, so good, so good. And Grappler Baki, the OVA of that. Yes.
Yeah, I actually had a nightmare about the original Akira. I remember that.
Oh, dude, because
I was like,
well, the transformation. The transformation is
that was what gave me a nightmare.
Crap. No, of course. And I have some of the figures of that. How was your theater experience?
So funny enough, I thought that it wasn't going to be packed with anybody. And literally when I walked in, there was like a quarter to a third. And then more people were walking in.
Oh, really?
Half the theater filled up, I want to say. Granted, it was a small theater. It was one of their smallest theaters.
I had a small theater too.
I want to say like we're, including myself, is like close to 20 people were in there.
Well, that's more than me. Well, Kim didn't want to see it. And
fair enough.
It was like, it was me and maybe like 5 other people.
And did you watch, was it in Japanese for you, or was it dubbed?
Japanese.
Same here.
Yeah.
Which I thought that would usually filter out a lot of people.
Right, but no, that there was no dubbed version or option. Granted, I did watch it again after that. I watched it today again, the dubbed version.
You own it.
I don't know. I don't have it. I thought I have it.
So how'd you watch it?
I have my ways. I have my ways.
Here's the funny thing. I went looking because I'm like, I know.
You can't find it. It's not online. Like there's ways to find it online, but there's no streaming service.
No, I went looking for the Blu-ray and whatnot, and that's like $50. Is $48 to buy it on Blu-ray.
Oh, of course. Now, because it's like a gem. Because again, like I said, on regular streaming platforms, you cannot find it. You can find the show.
Yeah, which is nothing like the movie.
Oh, even anime style. Like the anime style, it was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Where here, that like I love the anime style here is just so.
I want to say the anime Basilisk. Basilisk was closer to the movie than the actual show.
The anime what?
Basilisk. You actually you had the live action version of Basilisk. Remember watching it with you.
Basilisk?
It's basically 2 clans of ninjas that fight each other based on the Shogun's orders and whatnot. It's a different story, but the theme and the animation style is closer.
Oh, yeah. But there's a scene though. There's a scene where in Mask of Phantasm, right?
Yeah.
Right, where a gangster gets told off, and his eyes are like.
So it reminds you of that?
It reminded me of Ninja Scroll. It reminded me of the old monk. So I'm wondering if they did that scene in honor of Ninja Scroll for that.
Because I know, like you can, if you Google Ninja Scroll right now, it's like on a lot of popular lists of like top films in the 90s for anime.
Of course.
And it's up there.
No, what was great about the director and creator of Ninja Scroll, his influences. Because he grew up, because he saw the interview before the movie, right?
I did, yes, which I also appreciated. And like usually you don't get that. That's like so for a DVD or something.
Exactly, which I love. So they're asking like, what was his influence? He's talking about, of course, like Seven Samurai, but then like also like The Magnificent Seven, Predator, Die Hard, like all these great movies that we love. Is like the same that he loves.
Exactly.
And was like an influence. Of course, the major influence ninjas because he was a fan of the lore of ninja stories or the ninja lore, excuse me. And it makes sense because you see that in this movie, a lot of influence. You see a lot, Star Wars. There's a lot of Star Wars in there because in the way that, of course, the samurai, which was a big influence to the Jedi, Luke didn't want to be the hero.
Yeah.
He gets influenced by the old man, Obi-Wan. Jubei didn't want to get involved, but he got involved because of the old man, even though he was coerced by a poisoned dart or shuriken, that he had to do it. And then he had these great characters. They're villains, but they're great characters.
Yes. Speaking about the director, he was also talking about his childhood influences, like the old mangas and comics he used to read.
But also like the old Westerns too.
Exactly. And one of the ones he mentioned also happened to be, I want to say, was my first anime that I ever owned, Legend Kamui. And I can't remember if it was you or like mom or dad. I want to say it was you, but I remember getting it as a gift because I doubt mom and dad just got me an anime cassette like randomly. But like,
did you know that prior to Ninja Scroll, did you know he also created and directed Wicked City?
I did not know it until I watched that interview.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap!
Which makes sense because then when I watched the movie, the animation style, the look, and the flow, and the flashing, there is a lot of flashing scenes. It does fit, with the style of what he did.
Yes. Now, for me, I never watched this on the big screen. Obviously, for you too.
Yeah.
How did you feel watching it on the big screen, even though it was more like? Because obviously this was a featurette, but it was not meant for theatric release.
Oh yeah, no. For those who don't, TV. Obviously for everybody here watching us, it was filmed and aired as a 4x16?
No, 4x3.
Wow, man, I can't even call that out.
16:9. 16:9 is that the letterbox, right? 14:3 or 4:3, excuse me, was what the televisions back in the day
exactly
was.
Full screen basically. So that's basically what we had on the theater, and like kind of gave me a nostalgia feel seeing it as the box.
Yeah, I mean, for those who have not watched or like that or don't know what we're talking about, just watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. He puts in that format.
He does.
Yes, it's not letterbox. He puts it in a 4:3 ratio.
I don't do the special features on his stuff, so it's like
no, that's how it is. If you watch it on Max, that's how it is.
Which is funny. I did watch it. I just blocked it out.
I know. I can understand.
But still, focusing on the director commentary, I thought was very touching. It's very good. You can tell the age discussion, like he's trying to be PC about some of his stuff, and then going right into the movie.
Did you have previews and all that stuff?
I did.
I tried to get there all the
time.
That
Walmart commercial needs to go.
Walmart.
Yeah, there's a commercial for Walmart that's like 7 to 8 minutes long. It's huge. It's all about the kids going back to school.
Oh, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I thought since this is just like a special event, why have all these previews?
I thought they were going to do it like a trailer for an anime movie coming out or something like that. I saw the My Hero Academia movie coming out in October. That's it.
For a special event. Because again, there's only 2 days of screening that you think they'll just get right to the movie. Because I was getting tired. I had a long day. Like you had a long day. I was getting tired. And I got tired of reading. That's why I watched it again in English dubbed.
It's a totally different feel, isn't it?
Yes, but the thing is, I like Okay, if I'm watching live action samurai films,
You want
I
an
gotta
original.
watch it. I gotta watch it in original language.
Yeah.
Anime, I can watch it in English. I'm not bothered by
Mhm.
the being English or Japanese.
Also depends on, I would say, how well the dubbing's done. I feel like the Ninja Scroll dubbing originally wasn't bad.
No, it's done very well. It's done very well. Even Akira, even though they did it twice or maybe 3 times, they redubbed it.
Yeah, they
like the
redubbed it a
original.
few times.
Yeah, I'm like, why? The original is awesome. The voices match the characters perfectly. And now you do this and just, it sounds, maybe because I'm just used to it, but it just sounds off. It's like seeing the person with the same voice and then you see the person with a different voice. It's like, what? Why does he have an accent or her? But anyway, this movie still holds up. I mean, it's a period piece. It can hold up
Yeah.
at any time. But the way it is done, the tempo, the tone, the fantasy of it, the topics of it still relates today.
Yeah.
Meaning of sexuality. Let's call it right there. Because there's a character, the one that the electric,
It's a few characters, but yeah.
Well, the electrocutioner.
Call him the eel.
Okay, the eel, because I can't remember his name right now. And then the main villain, Genma.
Yes.
He's bisexual.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
pansexual.
They don't really classify it. They just say he likes both men and women.
Well,
That's it.
hello. Yeah, you don't have to say it exactly. He's bisexual or he's pansexual.
No, that's what I'm just saying.
pansexual.
Like
But he's
back
like-
then, there wasn't like a term that it's just.
Yes, they were. You could say bisexual. There's bisexual back in the 90s.
No, I'm saying like in that period piece, they
Do you think really? You think they could not say he's bisexual like back then? They could have made a word for it.
Could've.
Come on now,
They
don't
didn't.
overthink it.
I think you're overthinking.
But no, back then in the 90s, still you talking about that,
Mhm.
you'd be like, whoa. But again, Japan is a little more
Progressive.
progressive, yes. Because granted, they say it and they just keep on going. So they don't draw it out. The explosive girl was
But-
trying to get the eel to get under his skin, get him flustered.
It wasn't
have-
just her.
Who else said it?
The Benny Zato, the snake woman. She's like, I'll tell Genma my report in bed if you're okay with that. Like they
that's right.
like it's like the secret everybody knew. It was
Right. And he had
and I think his name is Akimasa.
Electric Boy.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like this character. I like because he was like the right hand man in
Mhm.
many ways than one. He was second in charge. So it was kind of cool where his demeanor and all that stuff. I like the blind swordsman. That was a really cool character.
Yes.
That was a really cool character,
was
but it just ended.
dope.
He was a really cool character, but he didn't last as long as others, unfortunately.
True, but the way he went out was actually kind of clever. The way they did that.
True. No, I think he was more in the sense of honoring the character Zatoichi, the blind swordsman.
Yes, 100%.
And I did like Shadow Boy.
Oh, the creepy shit.
Yeah, but he was cool. Like when they're standing on that bridge
Yes.
and he's on top in that long silhouette with the
Mm-hmm.
claw, it was just a really cool shot of the villains,
Yes.
except for the rock guy.
Well, he was already dead
Colossus.
by that point.
Well, I'm saying he's the Colossus of the show.
Yeah,
They're the
uh,
X-Men.
Yeah, the
Oh,
8 demons. They're basically like
Right?
Apocalypse's horsemen.
Genma is Wolverine.
Or no, you could argue that it's like Apocalypse is 4 horsemen, just times 2. Genma, he's Apocalypse, right? He's the one that you can't stop.
But he also regenerates like
Apocalypse. I mean,
Apocalypse
Wolverine.
regenerates.
Yeah, Apocalypse can control every atom of his body, like every molecule, so he can
Okay.
regenerate himself.
Shadow Boy, I always say more like I guess he'd be more like Nightcrawler.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm reaching here. But anyway,
That one's a reach.
yes.
Each villain is iconic, and they're terrifying in their own way.
Of course. I mean, like the Hornet guy, the Hornet's Nest.
That's the
guy.
thing of nightmares
Well, not just that, but the way he's taken out, like he's getting eaten, stung
from the
in the
inside
water
out.
because right, exactly, because they're trying to escape. They don't want to drown. They're trying to find ways to get out,
Mhm.
and they're using him. And he's being killed by his own pets, if you will.
Yeah.
That's a way to go. Now the rock monster dude, he was cool. Shame or cool the way he died. I mean, it was pretty fucked up, but it was also cool because he's poisoned, so his body's being breaking down from the poison by messing with the girl.
Yes.
What about characters? It says besides those guys, as we thought we say is really cool. What character did you really enjoy?
Besides the villains,
Yes.
Jubei. Don't get me wrong. The old man,
See, that's for me. The old
Daquan.
man.
I don't
He
know
was
why I'm saying it with like Daquan.
like a black guy. Well, the guy from Kevin Peele.
Key Bill, like the substitute teacher.
Yeah.
That your name is Daquan. That's what I'm sounding like. But so yeah, he's actually a really good character and does remind me of Wicked City because the old man in Wicked City puts the main characters together as a couple. And like for some weird reason, when I knew that the director also did Wicked City, I'm like, is this the same old man?
He also reminded me of Yoda.
Kind of.
He's short,
a darker version in the sense of like mentally. He's darker,
but he can shape shift.
Not really well, but like enough to hide.
Yeah, I like them. Jubei was more.
He had really cool moments,
right? But he was like the straight character of the story, where everyone else is extreme.
Absolutely. Although the moment when he first meets the Rock dude, Tesei, which is a rough moment for Kagero, the girl, but he kind of like just walks up to the guy. He's like, "Hey, I got lost."
I know. I mean, he's funny. He's funny in that way, in a sense, like. You try to break the tension, whatever. And he's just like, because his arrogance is what's making him do that. Because he's overconfident.
Because he can back up the crappy talk, which you get to see when you first see him. That iconic at the beginning of the movie.
He's Yojimbo and Sanjiro, the Toshiro Fume movies.
Exactly.
Or like Clint Eastwood, Hang 'em High, Fistful of Dollars. So he represents that, like that ultra alpha guy.
Yes.
No, he's a great character, but again, in this crazy world that we visit, he's the straight guy. What about scenes?
So here's the thing: like there are very iconic scenes in this.
Way too many,
but for good reason. Like in the director even said it himself, is like. It's almost like an art form to find the pacing of when to make an action scene fast or slow it down and when to time it. And they do a very good job of that here.
When the Rock guy finds him through the wall.
Yeah.
Like you don't expect it. You see a horse running towards Jubei with no master on it, and then a fist goes through the wall, grabs him. And I had to watch it twice. Like I watched it last night on the big screen, then I watched it again. It's like, wait a minute, how did he punch him? I was like, holy crap. He grabbed him, he punched through the wall, he pulled him through the wall.
So just his head was in the wall.
Right. And he punched him through that wall again to hit that column behind him. I was like, holy crap.
And technically, he didn't need to roll through the wall. He just did that for the fun of it.
Right. Yeah, that was a fast pace. And then you have that, like with the blind swordsman, where it's just very
short, but very quick, intense moment.
Right. Exactly. I think I've seen that kind of fight scene later on in other films or shows where
they kind of duplicate that.
There's a weapon left, they forgot about it, and then is used to help save the hero, by mistake. So,
absolutely. I can say without remembering exactly what movie it was, but I am 98% sure that you're right. Like it's been used in other martial art films since then. Probably samurai films where they
not just martial art films,
bamboo,
but not just a martial art film, just any kind of action film that a weapon or sword or knife gets lodged, and then or spear, what have you, and it's used later on to help the hero accidentally. It's just there, they forgot, and their surroundings, and boom, they crash right into it.
When he realizes Kagero's gonna die, and he sees Genma. And he loses his cool and just slaughters. It's not even a joke. He just slaughters all the ninjas. Funny enough, you don't see it like verbatim. Like you just see him like slashing. You just see like
shots. It's like the shots.
And then you see their bodies as they're going across. This is why Genma was like, "Oh, he's not dead." Like when they first mentioned, like, "Oh, Jubei, that guy's not dead," which was funny. I thought. When I watched it last night.
When was the last time you saw it?
Oh God, it was like 15 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, me too. And I swore I thought I had it.
You probably have the DVD.
I don't know why I'm looking. I looked through all my DVDs. I'm
pretty confident I have the DVD.
I thought I had a DVD, unless I gave you mine. I'm not sure. So. I'm looking now. I'm like, why am I looking? I know it's not there. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Actually, hold up.
A few moments later.
Damn it. It's a completely empty binder. Probably in a binder full of video games. What I was going to say is, after rewatching the movie, that eel guy, he stood the closest of getting Jubei.
Oh yeah.
And then the girl that was like jealous of him, that like, I have feelings for you, da 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 da, that explodes him. Oh, he fell for my trap. I'm like, girl, you basically made that trap. If she didn't do that, I think Jubei would have been got. The movie would have been a lot shorter, which is so wild. But that, I mean, that's also not necessarily a bad thing. That's actually a good thing for like story wise.
No, yeah. I mean, there's no faux pas here. I don't find any faux pas here in the sense of.
I will say, like, well, in animation, it felt a little bit choppy at first.
In what way?
Some like the horses running at the beginning, the way it didn't feel smooth in the animation. But you know how your eyes adjust a little bit,
right? But I'll say this: since like an animation back then, especially back then, like Disney and all that stuff, everything was hand drawn.
True.
And they, you know, when they do it, they take pictures and like that. So you see, like, there's stuff like what's on the lens, or it's like something that's dirty. Is like you see it in the picture for that scene. Could be someone walking, or they're doing a pan shot, close up shot. You see a little smidget,
like a smudge
marking, yeah, and then it's like, then it's gone. But I just find that the imperfections, which is great. No, it's great. As the director said in his interview, is like, and he acknowledges it. He's surprised that, because he didn't make it to be everlasting. He's just, wow.
He wanted to do something that was he can appreciate based on what he loved.
Right. And it found an audience. Still to this day, it finds an audience. I will own this if they did it in 4K.
I think they do have a 4K.
Oh, they do?
It's like $50 though.
Maybe not then. Or they put it on like streaming in a sense, like you can buy it.
Which I thought High Dive, which I do subscribe to, since they were one of the companies that's releasing it for the anniversary, I thought they had it on their app. They don't.
Like I'm saying, you can't find it. Like I found it in a sneaky way. Like you can go to Amazon, you can watch the show. You can go to Crunchyroll and watch the show.
Yeah.
But you cannot find the movie on any legit streaming platform.
Wild.
Akira's on streaming.
It's like on 3 different applications.
I think it's on Max and Crunchyroll.
And on Hulu.
Yeah. So it's like, you can see it. And that's a movie you guys should see if you've never seen it. It's like one of the things that brought anime into the forefront in the US.
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star, Akira. But Akira is really like there. And then Ninja Scroll. And then you have a Robot Carnival, which is a bunch of stories.
Yeah.
Kind of like Animatrix.
There was also Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell is another one. They did a live action version of that.
Perfect
so yes.
Blue. I mean.
Right. There's so many. And there's so many anime movies coming out in the theater to watch. There's one that's coming out that they're doing they're making a movie, but it's actually the first 3 episodes of a series.
Oh, the Don Don. What did I say? It's like Don Don is one of those names.
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
But that, you know, there's a place for anime. I mean, of course, heck, there's anime cons. It has a niche in this world, and Ninja Scroll is one of the pioneer movies that did it.
Okay, you asked me, was there a bad scene, right?
Yes.
I didn't say like a faux pas. So I mentioned my faux pas. I was like, my eyes had to adjust to the pacing of the animation. What was your faux pas? Was it just the fact that you can catch some of those, like, you know, smudges and stuff?
But that's not really a faux pas. That's just how it is. Like, I'm just saying that you can see that. That's what I like about it. It's like a perfect imperfection in the way that how stuff was done back then.
Yeah.
Because everything now is done by computers and AI.
I will say,
it's very easy.
I will say this: you have to have the patience that you would have the old school samurai film, where a lot of and let me put it this way: so a lot of films or animes, to be precise nowadays, it's a lot about let's get through it faster, make it flashy, let's do a lot of stuff. Here, they give a lot of times for where the story slows down, where there's moments for the characters, and it almost comes to a complete stop.
But see, I don't mind that. Okay,
but that's why I'm saying, like, you have to have the mentality like you're watching your old school samurai films, which are like that. A lot of them were like that back in the day.
I think you just got, you know, it's a movie. You're gonna have change of pace. Yeah. In a movie, it can't be like bam, 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 or just all one level flat. It's gonna be boring. You have that roller coaster in this movie. I mean, it starts off with action, and then it pulls
I'm not
back.
saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, in comparison to what I see now.
Oh, okay.
This is definitely showing that pacing.
What I liked about here, when I watched it in Japanese and in English, or in relation to what you're saying, is that there's not screaming, over dramatic acting here is very leveled, is very real, even though it's an unreal story, is very grounded in the sense of how the acting is done. You don't have the person screaming on the top of their lungs just for the sake of it. When the voice raises, there's a reason why there's screaming happening.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of stuff in anime that they're just yelling and the drawing is real crazy, real out of cut. Like
very cartoonish.
Full Metal Alchemist is an example.
Like Ulrich Brothers.
Every character in that show does it, and as well as other people, other characters, Dragon Ball Z.
Or Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Yes.
The only one that does that is
the old man.
The old man.
Yeah, but not much. He's a grumpy old man like me.
Yeah. I got to ask this question since you did watch the dub. Did the audio for the music change when you watched
No, everything's the same. Even the dialogue stayed the same. It was very little.
Rare.
Yeah. Yes. Usually what in translation is very different.
Mm-hmm.
From what I remember from last night watching it and reading it, the subtitles, the same.
Yeah.
They may have changed a little bit here and there to match the mouth movement. Usually the music stays the same, be it original language to dub. It's usually the same music. That doesn't really change. I mean, unless they're doing a re-release like Tony Jaa's Onbak, they changed them from the original release to the American release, and sponsored by Wu-Tang, they upped the soundtrack.
Well, I will say this, like there were some companies that would do that. Funimation was one of them. A great example, they would take the Dragon Ball Z movies. The dialogue and everything would be one way and the music would be different. And then all of a sudden you got like Linkin Park playing in the background with Disturbed as they're fighting, which clearly wasn't in the Japanese movie.
Right.
But in the US movie.
They did that too with, like I said, Onbak. I think Linkin Park adds some music to it. But here they stayed true as best. Because again, they're doing the re-release of the original. It's the 30th anniversary. It's not like Akira. They did 3 incarnations of the sense of voice acting. They may have changed the music, maybe not. I don't know.
No, the music was supposed to be the same. It was just the voice actors.
Yeah. Again, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics and the audience both rate it at 89%. I find this to be higher personally. What about you?
It deserves to be in the 90s.
Yes. Granted, it's 89. It's right there. It's right there. But yes. I mean, I don't know what they think of why it's in the 80s. Maybe because since it's anime and there is ultra violence and they're not ready for it, or there is some.
I mean, there are like not just nudity; it's like the sexual content that's in there.
Yeah,
so it's a very mature subject.
You know, you're not used to seeing that in cartoon form or anime form.
Yeah,
in anime, maybe yes, but not in American animation.
True.
Back in that time, is it worth the watch?
Absolutely.
Is this worth the own?
Yes, if you can find it.
By watching it, you'll see where the influences for that came from, and you can see a lot of what it influenced. It influenced The Matrix.
Absolutely. Like you said, one of the movies that helped propel anime in general. Literally, it was used as a vehicle for advertising anime in general for manga animations. Yeah. Literally, it was on their cut reel with the music of KMFDM. It was like KMFDF. Yeah, it's a rock group. KMF. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it. It's like initials, like 4 letters. It's like yeah. And then. All it was like a 30-minute clip, and there was all their animations.
30-minute?
30-second clip.
Oh, sorry.
With all the animations.
Right. It's like it's all the go with the music.
Yeah, right. You see like Street Fighter, Ninja Scroll.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think Guyver was on there.
Yes. That I have. I have Street Fighter. I have Guyver. I have Spriggan. I have all these things. I can't find my Ninja Scroll. I have it somewhere, and I just don't know where.
Yeah. To answer your question earlier, was there a sequel? There was always talks about doing a sequel. There was a movie called Ninja Resurrection that was centered around the character of Jubei, but it's not a sequel. It's a totally different story.
Okay. All right, guys. That is our anime review of the 30th anniversary of Ninja Scroll. Have you seen it? Let us know who you thought was the best character or best scene in the comments below. And also don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Oh, sure.
I'm surprised you didn't go for the snake woman.
No, it's poison.